Hey guys, this is Drax and I'm back with another Star Wars Battlefront 2 class guide, and this time it's for the Specialist.
Genetic archive reached. Splicing.
So in this one I'll be taking you through the Specialist abilities, how to use them, the Specialist weapons, which one will suit you best, and of course a few choices of star cards and loadouts you can use to maximise your efficiency with the class. So if you have been having trouble getting kills or battle points with a Specialist, then this guide should help you out. Starting with the original loadout, the Specialist has the Shock Grenade, the Infiltration ability, Thermal Binoculars and a Long Blaster. The Shock Grenade is great for slowing enemies. It does damage and when thrown in the correct place can be the perfect stop to an incoming wave. They either run over the shock area, get slowed or killed, or they recognise it's there and wait until it's worn off. Either way, it's great at slowing their progression. Heroes and villains move around pretty quick, so this can be the perfect answer to slow them down a bit. It's all about placement, so any high traffic area is where you want to throw this. Then we have the Infiltration ability. You go off the radar and take out the infamous E4, capable of dispatching enemies quickly as long as you are accurate. It's been nerfed quite a bit since the beta, maybe a bit too much, but it definitely still has its uses. Basically, you use this ability to get behind enemies. Once you do, you need to take them out quickly. Combining this with a certain star card in my eyes makes it more useful, so we'll look at that one in a bit. And then the third ability is the Thermal Binoculars, useful for spotting your targets, marking them up and taking them out. Great for counter sniping and before you enter buildings. Marking targets means even if they go back into cover, they will have a red outline and you can just wait for them to pop back out with your aim already trained on that location. Also, since you can see through walls, knowing how many enemies are on the other side, this allows you to examine your options and attack from better angles if possible. Still, I think there are quite a few options for the Specialist depending on how you want to play it. We'll check that out in the star cards shortly, but first let's take a look at the weapons. The main weapon here is the Long Blaster. By this point you'll have played a fair bit with the start weapons and probably moved on, so in this one we're focused on the ones you can unlock. The IQA 11 is great for taking out enemies reliably at range. It's your starter sniper but still delivers that satisfying one-shot headshot on any enemy Specialist. I know this because his weapon got me a good amount while I was getting footage for this video. For the other classes, it's gonna take 2 headshots. Now I haven't used it much, hence I don't have any of the attachments unlocked, but in my short time using it, it simply does the job. I feel the boat speed and improved cooling will be the most beneficial, as it does lack a bit in range, and with the cooling attachment you'll be able to fire it more like a scout rifle. The benefits to this one over the final weapon are that it's faster to fire and doesn't have a big green tracer. And then we have the A280 CFE, which is awarded for 200 kills or included with the Elite Trooper Deluxe bundle. And this one is better for a more assault-like playstyle. It starts off like a scouting rifle with its lower damage and rate of fire, but once you get the burst mode attachment you can take it everywhere. I really enjoyed this one as I like to play aggressive, and the A280 CFE allows you to do that as long as you remain accurate. Combined with a dual zoom, it's reliable at range, and if you decide you want to do more damage to vehicles you can always equip the Ion Shot once unlocked. In a lot of ways this weapon performs better in CQC than the E4 ability as it's more accurate. So for maps with a lot of CQC action, the A280 CFE is my go-to weapon. And finally we have the 500 kill weapon, the beast, the NT-242. If you like sniping then this weapon is very satisfying to use. One shot body shot to an enemy Specialist and one shot headshot to every other class. The sound is fantastic and a pleasure to hear just before the kill sound. The big green tracer does give you away, so it's best to fire and move this one unless you have a really good spot where you won't get picked off by other snipers. I've used it in all scenarios and I've got to say it's a lot of fun in the more cramped maps where every shot counts. Landing a quick scope or no scope is the difference between life or death. Still, with this weapon it gives you the ability, if you remain accurate, to clear groups of enemies one by one with each shot. One of the most fun weapons in the game for sure. On top of that, the Disruptor Shot attachment changes this weapon into a vehicle destroyer. Yes, you will no longer have such a good time against infantry, dealing slightly less damage, but vehicles will definitely fear you a bit more. Most of the time though, I stick with the improved cooling and dual zoom. The improved cooling allows you to fire one more shot before it overheats, and the dual zoom makes it easier to take down targets at range. So to sum the weapons up, the IQA-11 is a favourite of many. Its high rate of fire and combination of improved cooling and boat speed attachments make this weapon useful in a variety of circumstances. The A280 CFE is built for the more aggressive specialist. It's the best all-rounder on the class, performing well in any scenario. And the NT-242 is your main sniper with a great sound and devastating damage. This weapon is one of the best in game and a lot of fun to use if you have the accuracy. So now, how about the star cards? Well, here's my loadout for the class depending on situation. Basically, for the specialist I have an indoor and an outdoor loadout. The indoor one looks like this. Number 1 is Personal Shield. This swaps out your thermal binoculars but allows you to gain some protection in those chaotic fights. Since the specialist has only 100 health, the least of any class, staying alive can be tricky at times, so this one definitely helps. Also find it pretty good for taking capture points or stopping timers. Since you can run onto them with the protection of the shield, you can make yourself a nuisance. And then I have the Stinger pistol. This can be swapped out freely at any time and can be fired continuously. It only does small tick damage but is very useful for keeping enemies from regenerating health. Against heroes and villains it does bonus damage, so if you see one early, getting a shot on them will definitely help take them down. Leveling up this card will allow the Stinger shots to damage them for a longer duration per shot. And my final card is Scrambler Infiltration. Now I personally think Infiltration is in a bit of a weak place. Compare it to the Assault's Vanguard ability and there's a lot of difference. It takes far more skill to use Infiltration as you really need to hit the head to guarantee quick kills. Hitting the body will usually require 2 bursts and this leaves you vulnerable as your health sits at only 100. So with the Infiltration ability you really need to attack at the right time and get them on a complete flank to make the best of it. The Scrambler version marks enemies for your allies and scrambles all enemy scanners in range, so it really is perfect for getting in behind and dealing some damage. Now I would have chose Hardened Infiltration for this slot as anything that reduces damage for this class is welcome, but I don't think it's quite working right at this time as the reduction in damage taken is not even noticeable. Maybe that one needs a few tweaks or just needs to be fixed and might become a viable option in the future. Another card I sometimes switch out to on the indoor loadout is Bodyguard, as the explosive spam will take out a specialist pretty quickly, so this one is a good card for the class. So now on to the outdoor loadout and we'll start here with Marksman. This is perfect for headhunters on maps like Camino or Hoth, as your weapon will gain a heat reduction every time you land a headshot, allowing you to keep firing. The next card is Improved Thermal Binoculars, as this one will not only highlight the enemy for you, but also your teammates, so that's a good team play one right there. Useful for highlighting attackers and giving your friendlies a heads up. And finally I run Bounty Hunter here as I don't feel the need for any other star card when firing at range, so a nice boost of battle points to unlock the reinforcements and heroes faster is always welcome. So guys, that's my star card recommendations and also the complete guide right there. Overall, the specialist class in many situations is the underdog with the lowest health, but with good positioning and accuracy this class can also dominate the Battlefront. Hopefully you have enjoyed this one. I'll be back more gameplay guides and tips soon, so as always thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.